And welcome back. I'm Spider from Crescendo Games. I have to my right, left, one half of BKGibson, and then below me I've got Yang, who wrote the Undying Sun setting. They've all come on to have some fun. Guys, introduce yourselves and give us some details.
Go ahead.
All right. Hey, I'm Ben Gibson. So I am, again, as he said, I'm half of the writing pair of Ben and Karen. We go by BK Gibson. We write fantasy and sci-fi. I also, just as Ben Gibson, I publish RPGs. So I publish RPG adventures under Cold Light Press. I'm coming on here because Spider asked. I was curious to see the new setup. I've worked with Yang before. We've had some good conversations before. So I was also curious to see his Undying Sun in action. So I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
I am Yang Yan Zhao. I am two halves of the writers on Empire of the Undying Sun, a campaign setting both for D&D 5e and 1e. And I also have a channel at Yang Yan Zhao 4 where I talk to different people about tabletop role playing, comics, writing, anything storytelling related. Spider asked me, hey, can we use your setting to test Crescendo? And I thought, wow, that's I had never considered that before. So I said, yes, let's do it.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yang has been very, very, very patient as I've sort of bungled around. I had a bunch of time, and then it all got eaten up by funerals. So it just sort of, it's finally like, all right, well, let's do this. So the constraints on me. So my goal, as I had said earlier, is to show that Crescendo does not need to take up y'all's already existing game. A lot of the games and a lot of the settings that we exist next to, we have a hard time being like, well, this is why you should play my game over your game. You know, this is why my game is better, whatever. And there's some virtue to, telling someone, I'm sorry, but your game sucks. But that's not the tack that I'm taking with Crescendo. Crescendo is a different tack. Crescendo says, I can exist alongside your game and actually add to it very, very, very strongly. And we're going to do that. And I'm actually sort of doing the experiment already on my channel where I'm publicly running a Crescendo and Shadow Dark game in the same world. There's a private Nimble game going on, which all of a sudden just started up yesterday, which is also in the same world. This was not planned, but it's out. But now I have 3 games running in the same world. So, so I wanted to show this and have people on and give it a shot. So I'll give you the basic breakdown of how the game works, and then we're going to launch forward from there. So there's 2 things that everybody has to care about. There's the beliefs, which you guys have drafted, which are in my chat right now. Beliefs are a combination of an incident of something that happened to somebody along with the lesson that they derived from it. So it's sort of an internal dialogue. It's an internal story that this person carries along with them in 3 parts. You also have the myth of the setting. Everybody who writes history or whatever kind of has an idea of how they think the world works, and that's what the myth is. The myth is this unspoken. Everybody kind of has this idea of how things work, and that's the myth. So we have a myth, which I'm going to drop into the chat right now, as I promised I was prepared for all of this. So there's the Google Doc. In theory, there it goes. And when when Ben and Yang are playing, they are trying to honor with their actions both the myth and their own beliefs at the same time. I can give one of 3 responses. Yes, but. So if you honor both, yes, but someone else now suffers for what you did. No, and I hit you over the head with a condition. It makes your life harder. It makes playing harder. And then I take whatever you did and I make someone else's life miserable too. And then the third option is the weird one. Let's make a deal. That's if either the belief or the myth was honored, but not the other one. So if you pick one over the other, okay, cool. I'll say yes, but you have to accept a condition. And then I make somebody else's life miserable, and then we continue along with this happy little, this happy little cycle. So that's, at any point in time, Ben and Yang can, either to each other or to me, they can go, no, I defy, I refuse. I don't like the narration. I don't like, whatever it is, I don't like it. No, I won't do it. They pick up some dice. We'll get to that when we get to it. And they roll. Now, regardless of whether they succeed or fail, the game is going to do a hard tilt in the hitting the books mechanic, which we'll get to when we get to it. But regardless of whether you succeed or fail, the game goes in a completely unexpected direction. Nobody knows where this train is going. The harder you stomp with defies, the crazier the narrative. So if you guys want a bloodbath, defy often. If you don't want a bloodbath, don't defy. It's kind of, it's more or less what we got. So,
yes. If we defy, do we get to choose the manner in which we defy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you do. So you can, you say how it works. You narrate how it works. We assemble a dice pool based off of your action. That may or may not be a good thing depending on how you narrated it. So like, for instance, if you don't have any skills in like sweet talking someone, you're like, oh, I hug them and hold them to me. I'll go, I'm sorry, you don't have a sweet talking skill, dude. Like you don't have this, which will get you a D2.
Okay.
Which, is terrible. But again, how you defy is narratively based. This is a very fiction forward sort of a game, but there's a puzzle element to the gameplay because you have the myth, you have your beliefs, they're public knowledge, no one's hiding anything from you, and you guys have to figure out how to thread the needle on both those things. And I'm here to tell you if you did it or not. So,
okay.
Let's see here. Taking a look at it. All right. So first things first, we always start a session of Crescendo with hitting the books. So you guys are moving about your normal life, doing your normal thing, and suddenly something comes out of left field and you're in trouble. So let me take a look at everything. Why don't you guys give quick introductions to your characters, and then we'll move forward from there, and we'll hit the books, and we'll take off while I drink my Dr. Pepper.
Yang, you want to go first?
Sure. I am Maktor Khan. I am a priest in the religion of the Black Ram. I have been sent here to South Bay, to the only Black Pyramid outside of the Empire of the Undying Sun. And I am here, I don't know how much I should give away, but I am here to perform duties which were assigned to me by the Grand Augur himself. and also to build converts to worship the Black Ram as they should.
Information is kind of agnostic inside of this game. If you want to share it for dramatic irony so other people can lean into it, you do that. If you want to surprise us, you can also do that. It's kind of I've seen people do both. I've seen some people walk in and they dump the whole secret right on everybody, and then they go, but your characters don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
and then the player.
Then your characters don't know. The Grand Augur has received messages in his dreams from the Black Ram that there is some sort of a device or method within this area around South Bay that may enable him to return to the world.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. I'll be asking about that later. I'll probably get the terms wrong. Okay, cool. What are your beliefs and what are your traits?
So my beliefs are I will be protected for following the will of the Black Ram. The Black Ram rewards me for my faith and for promoting his will. And there are those who are jealous of me and would steal what is rightfully mine. I must be careful.
I wonder how that'll go.
And my traits are ambitious, silver-tongued, and ruthless.
All right. Ben, launch us.
All right. We don't know what my original name is, but the boys around the watch call me Homeless Tom. Nice. I have lived here for all my life, as far as I know, but I've been bounced from place to place. The locals, they believe that I am quite loyal and quite friendly, but I've just realized that Commander Craig has kept as much order as he is because he owns the biggest, as the man of the governance, he owns the biggest gang in town. And so that's the only real way for having any kind of safety. I don't know if I would say I love this town, but it's the only thing I've ever known. And I'm quite glad when I get to wake up, when I get to see every street, every side. I love walking the streets. I love talking to people. The watch finds me quite useful in that way. And I find them quite useful because nobody messes with people who are part of the biggest gang in town. Through a series of unfortunate events, my beliefs are that governance is good as long as it's in service to me. I believe that it's a lonely world out there, and only gangs of criminals will stick together. And I believe that no one will help you unless they're tricked into believing it's helping themselves. So my traits are, I am cynical, as you might expect. I am manipulative, and I am extremely cautious. Does that help?
Yep, it does. You guys have made some very, very vibrant characters that I can sort of like close my eyes and like see them. Thank you. So now we're going to hit the books. So what we do, you guys in theory have something to write with. You're going to go to your backstory, just what you've written down, beliefs, backstory, the whole what happened to the rest of the factions thing, and pick one randomly and just read whatever your finger landed upon. It doesn't have to be reasonable. It just has to be something that you just look at and you're like, oh, that'd be kind of funny to read out loud. I've had people literally read out a single word and give me a look that says, do something with that, you jerk. And I've had to make do. And then, so all three of us do it. And then I kind of amalgamate it into one thing. You then write down your interpretation of what I said as its own bullet point, which then feeds back into the next time we hit the books. So let's do that. The Black Ram, oppression, judgment, hunger.
Sorry, so I'm supposed to pick one of my backstory that relates to those words?
No, you just pick one.
Oh.
I'm just telling you what I landed.
Okay, sorry. I'm supposed to pick one of those words or something from my backstory?
You pick one of your backstory points. You just put your finger down on what you've written. Read whatever you wrote.
Okay. Let's see. I often sleep with women who want to earn the favors of the Black Ram. I am their access to him.
Okay. All right. Then what you got?
Do you want my take of the Black Ram?
I just want you to find a random piece of information in everything you wrote. Put your finger down.
Oh, well then, yeah. So I have 303 words. I rolled a D 303 because I have a dice roller. So there we go. There you go. I had to ingratiate myself to someone who I had screwed over in the past. And who was that person? The person was Commander Craig himself. And I had stolen from him, but I needed to join the watch for protection.
Okay. I've got an idea. Let's do this. I'm writing this as I'm saying it, so let's see here. The body of Commander Craig is running around with a black goat's head. Some stop and stare. Others laugh. Others draw steel because now it's time. So I put that in there. So that's my interpretation of what we all came up with. Commander Craig is running through the streets, or at least you think it's Commander Craig. It's certainly the rest of him, but he's got a black goat's head on. You guys then go and write a short sentence or whatever about that in your own stuff. So that way when we hit the books the next time, that's now available should you land on it. So you guys can walk me through what you're thinking about doing, and I can help you figure that out so that way we can make this smooth.
All right, so my thought is I'm going to be horrified by that, but I'm actually I think I would probably cautiously follow at a distance.
Okay.
Kind of scared of it, but at the same time, as far as trust goes, he's kind of a steady. I kind of am worried for him,
Okay.
as close as homeless Tom gets to being worried.
There's your bullet point.
Okay.
Write it down so that way you can happen upon it later. What about you? What about you, sir?
I think Mokhtar is going to try to find the second in command for the town wardens, and he is going to try to convince them that Commander Craig has been possessed by an evil spirit.
There's your bullet point. Write that, whatever, there's your response to it. There is no wrong way to do this. I have had people outright lie in their bullet points and not tell anyone until it was a little late. Actually, at one point had someone during a play test when we were still figuring out how often you could hit the books and get away with it. I had someone who he had the plot MacGuffin. He walked up to an NPC that he trusted, pushed the plot MacGuffin into the guy's chest and said, "It's better with you than it is with me," threw him overboard because they're on a boat. So he's like, "Nope, take this, get off." Due to something else, we hit the books and this pink light came up underneath him and ate him along with the plot MacGuffin. Everyone else went, oh crap, like that's not good. Later on, he landed on the bullet point that he had written about that event. And he unfortunately was sitting next to his wife, who was playing with us, and she smacked him hard because the bullet point was somehow so-and-so got the plot MacGuffin, and then he tripped right into the open mouth of something. It could have happened to anyone. And she went, you pushed him. He goes, that's what I saw. That's what I was doing. All right, so who wants to go first inside of this? Because Ben is following. Homeless Tom is following, and Maktar is going to go find the second command to go get this guy captured because he's clearly possessed. So between the two of you, who wants to go first?
Yeah, I'm happy going since we're following close around. So you say everybody's following this poor gentleman. He's some people are recoiling in horror, but other people are drawing steel, right?
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
Yeah, some of them are trying to kill this person. This sort of thing happen a lot?
Not as such. No, this is a pretty unusual. You don't just have people running around with black goats' heads. It's not really a thing.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to be following carefully, but I'm actually going to, like I said, as much as I don't think well of most people, Craig's been kind of the only stability this place has. If I see there seems to be people probably are nerving themselves up to attack.
Sure.
Probably there's not individuals, but some of these people drawing steel, they probably have, they're probably clumping up in groups, right? They're probably trying to figure out,
absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm going to be looking to see if there's any groups that seem to be about to rush, about to go forward.
Sure.
I'm going to be looking for
there
that.
Are.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So the group that seems most likely to make that attack, I will probably try to distract them, or say I will find a nearby alley, say point that way, look, there's more. I'm trying to basically head off this attack as much as I can, not by directly confronting them, not by anything like that, but trying to point them a different way, trying to distract them. Does that make sense? Kind of what we're trying to do here.
Yeah. So I'll break down what I hear, and then I'll tell you how I'm adjudicating it, so that way you guys can kind of learn what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So first of all, that fits in. So I check belief, I check myth, I make decision. So I look at your beliefs. You've got something about governance as being good as long as it's in service to me. You've already made the case that this guy is like necessary to you. So, okay, cool. That's with your belief. So that checks. The second thing I check at that point is I go to the myth. And the myth that we have drawn up, the severing of the world, there's all this violence and stuff going on. The abominations come, and everybody unifies to go do their, to go repel the abominations. And they then unify to make sure that nothing worse happens. I think you're playing into that. I think that that's part of the myth. I think that because you are saying there's another threat over there. Look, over there, there's another threat. Okay, cool. Like that checks out to me. If you had instead tried to jump, so like as a counter example of what I would have said wouldn't have worked, if you had tried to jump in by yourself to like defend him and be like, no, you can't do that, I would kind of laugh at you and go, yeah, no, let's make a deal. You're picking a fight with a big group of people, and we're gonna beat you into a pulp, but he gets away. How's that? Like that's kind of that's an example of me saying no versus me saying yes right now. So you get in the way, you shout out, hey, there's someone over there. They go, oh my goodness, who, where? Because you've already got like this goat-headed thing. You're saying there's something worse. What's worse?
2 goat-headed people. So yeah. When in doubt, there's always more. So yeah, like I'd be like rapidly saying, this guy's a distraction. There's probably more of them. What's happening here? I'm just trying to desperately scramble on that thread. I'm pointing down the alley. I'm trying to it was over there. It was horrifying. I'm looking scared.
Okay. All right. They are like, oh my goodness, what is this? This, however, panics the crowd because 1 goat-headed person is a problem. 3 goat-headed people is the beginning of something. I don't know what. It's the beginning of something. And I almost knocked my light over just there. So they all go there. They're all going that way. But the panic cuts across the crowd. And now we come back to Maktar, who is currently trying to find the second in command. And all of a sudden you hear somebody shout, there's 3 of them, not 1. And there's this huge panic and everybody is flipping out. And you're watching as like, there's just general, like the level of chaos has become untenable. You can either, it's dangerous to move around now. You have to figure out what you're going to do. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble.
I think he is going to he will make a public display trying to perform a feat of religious piety. He will yell out, "Begone! The Black Ram commands you to leave these people in peace." And he will begin to perform a religious ritual that involves speaking in tongues and bloodletting and a little interpretive dance.
Okay. All right. A little bit of bloodletting. All right. So once again, I check the beliefs. Oh, wait, there's this whole thing about the Black Ram rewards me for my faith in promoting his will. That tracks. I go over, take a look back at the myth. Obviously, when I'm in my own home game, I'm not going back and looking at the myth all the time because I wrote the darn like I have my own I've internalized the logic of it. Which is part of the experiment for me. I'm seeing if I can run this in a way that, like if someone was to sit down and to do this cold, and I am mostly cold, what would come out? And this is part of us figuring out our little space right now, because I think it should be, let's make a deal.
Okay.
Because you stood your ground as a singular unit and you started doing things on your own, where the myth talks about people coming together and then repulsing. So I would think that would be making a deal.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like, I don't...
Yes. I would say yes. Essentially, Maktar doesn't care about any of these people. Right. He is looking to gain more followers for the Ram. So he's looking to impress them. Right. So let's make that deal.
All right, cool. I don't think that you're like gonna make. I think you'll be successful, yes, but you cut yourself a little too deep on the chest.
Okay.
You're in the middle of everything, and you're like, but you've got your sacrificial dagger, and you're doing your blood, and yeah, there's ways to do it that don't really hurt, and you didn't do that. So you can either accept the deal or you can defy.
I will accept that deal.
Okay, cool. I would think that would be like a level. So we're going to say, write this inside of a full game of Crescendo. We'd have the character sheet with a whole inventory management system. Nobody cares about that in a one shot, so I'm not going to put that on you guys. Write down somewhere, level 1, cut chest.
Okay.
This will make your defies in the future harder, though. Because, so you also have a score that we didn't need to talk about until right now called stress. And whenever you do defy, your stress is factored into the DC of that roll. So if you still want to defy, that's fine. That's why I'm explaining it, so that way you don't get. So if you accept this, it's going to make defying down the road harder.
You know what? I'm just going to go for it because the RAM rewards my faith. So I will accept that deal.
Cool. Tell us how you do it. How do you cut yourself too deep?
He is probably, he's got a knife that's serrated, used in sacrificing. Unfortunately, here they don't really let me sacrifice humans, so it's mostly animals. So he's
Book of the Long Sun vibes. Anyway, go on.
He's dancing around and a little on the wrist, a little on the thigh, and he's really getting into it, and it probably just a little bit too much, right above the nipple.
So painful, and it's bleeding. It's not too bad.
All for the RAM.
All for the RAM. Well, the people around you. So now we do the yes, but. So the people around you gain a confidence from it. They watched you literally just cut into your own flesh, and they know it hurt. Like, this isn't practiced, but this isn't like going to, I don't know, a Japanese steakhouse and watching someone flipping knives or whatever. No, they know that hurt. They know it, and that actually amps them up further. They can see that they can see the anguish, however minor, on you, and they're like, oh, "That's awesome!" So the butt comes back to homeless Tom, who now realizes that the crowd is no longer afraid. And they're coming right at your friend. They're coming right for him. They don't care anymore. They've been amped up with ritual magic and some guy just cutting into himself. What do you do?
Okay. So, by the way, so here's a setting question for this. How is the guy doing? So how is poor old black ram-headed old boy doing?
So I don't know if this actually happens inside of Undying Sun. I have no idea. This was just the thing that popped into my head when I was doing it. I would imagine that he's panicking because he woke up and he has a goat's head. I would imagine that he's not doing well.
Well, actually, that is a point to clarify. Is he just a normal human wearing a goat's head, or has his head become the actual head of a goat?
His head has actually become the head of a goat.
Okay, he's possessed. Yeah.
I have no idea. Like this is part of the beauty of that's part of the beauty of hitting the books. We got all this stuff. That's the image that popped into my head. So we're going. I have no idea what it means. We're about to. So he might be possessed. Either way, he's running around like he's crazy because he's got a goat head.
Okay. So make this work for me. I'll say I will amplify that. You were shouting out, you were shouting for the black ram, right? As
yes,
you were doing your sacrifice, as you were you're being public about your adherence, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's wearing free sleeve robe. Well, I wouldn't even say robes. It's more like a loincloth and a headdress. But
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So I will. I will say. I'll say yes. We are being saved by the Black Ram. He's blessed us. His avatar is before us, and I will try to. Get Commander Craig up on my shoulders. I'll try to have other people lift him up. Where, oh great avatar, are you leading us to fight? Where are you leading us against? I'm going to see if it is possible to turn them, because they were going violent, right? They were going, I was like,
Violence.
the other animals. He is going to be fighting the other animals. See, you help us. Thank you, sir. I'm just going to try to amp up. I'm going to try to again, the crowd is violent. The crowd is pumped. I'm not going to try to turn the crowd away. What I'm going to try to do is save, one of the very few trustworthy people I know, and by turning him into a figurehead, pun not intended, but happily taken, as a riot goes hurtling off in, oh gosh, if I can direct them, I probably have a grudge list of gangs that have mistreated me in the past. I will be.
There it is.
I will just start looking. Again, I'm trying to save this guy, so that was my first priority. But if I can start like going in a direction, like because clearly the Black Ram is leading us, I am going to like start pointing them towards what's a good name for the gangs? The Two Fingers hideout. Because they've lost a few things. Or maybe they've lost a lot of things. But yeah, so the Two Fingers hideouts, I'll see if I can get them that way. Again, I'm not as picky about where we go, but if it burns down them, great. That's kind of where I'll go for it.
So that is the textbook definition of a defy. You took what he was doing and you said, nope, we're going to redirect it.
Yep.
So you have to get 3 dice. If you guys remember, you got your stat dice together, you got your skill dice together, and then we'll get into item dice, but we'll get to that in a minute. Your first die is your stat die. I pick that. So based off your narration, I tell you which one of the 6 stats dice you get to use. I'm saying willful. You're pushing your will on them. You're trying. You got this guy literally over there cutting himself open, whipping them up into a frenzy, and you're like, yeah, let's go with that. Like there's a whole force of personality thing going on here. So whatever dice is attached to your will, to your willful, I don't remember the size of it right now. What did you put here?
D3 is the worst. I was hoping for cunning.
You can make your argument for cunning. I am open.
Yeah, because again, I'm not trying to basically what I was trying to do is I was thinking of willful more in the terms of like trying to command and trying to control and trying to be forceful rather than trying to be sneaky and point the other way. But hey, if you'd like to do willful instead, that's fine.
No. I mean, you're like this is part of it. When people are first starting to play together, they're kind of figuring out what the other person was doing. If the intent of what you were doing was to just subtly redirect it, okay, cunning is fine. That makes sense to me. Cunning it is. If we were like 10 sessions into a game, and now that I've gotten you down, and I go, it's willful, and you go, no, I think it's cunning, I would tell you, shut up and take it. And we would just all laugh, and that would be the end of it. But that's not right now. We're all learning here.
Cool.
So, okay, so cunning. What size of dice is that?
That's the D8.
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Now you pick a skill. One of your 5.
Okay. You had that assignment. Did you put that in chat? Because you had the long assignment of skills.
Let's see here. We can get that. I don't think.
You were giving us both. You were giving us both a pile of skills. So
I gave him skills. I don't know if I ever saw. Where's your backstory points? Drop them on me real quick, and we will just do this quickly.
Yes.
My apologies, I missed it.
Yeah, my backstory for what I rolled for my backstory.
Yeah, just drop it somewhere I can see it real quick.
Yeah, what I rolled for backstory was 4, 2, 3, 7, 7.
No,
that helps.
I mean the thing that.
Yep, I will repost it here.
Thank you.
That post is very ugly.
That's all right.
That
I don't need it to be pretty. I just need it to work.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's
going to have trouble.
All right, so you've got. We'll just do this really quick. How did you? I tried to call for help. Okay, so we'll do. For your skills, the first one we'll say oratory. You called for help. Literally shouted to the world. Someone will hear you, or not. Oratory, and then the second one. I try to get my big brother to help. We'll do diplomacy. So far you've got 2 sweet talking skills. Third one, a situation. What situation? All right, gang. Oh, and how did you address it? Try to ask for leniency from the boss. Not quite. Does anyone have a better word than groveling? Because groveling sounds really pathetic, and that's
I'll take groveling.
Okay, cool. Groveling it is. That's really neat. What have you done?
So I've also tried to implicate people before.
Try to implicate the gang instead. Lie. Literally the skill lie.
Okay.
And then did you try?
I'm not very honest.
Really? I could never have. Never. Okay, and then we'll have insight. So you have a metric crapload. Like, this is the most socially based character I've ever seen in a
yes.
Crescendo. It actually is. Like, I've seen people have 4 out of the, but all 5 right out the gate. No, that's impressive. So then you've got.
So I'm an orator, I'm a diplomat, I'm a groveler, I'm a liar, and an insider. I think that I'm using my oratory to diplomatically grovel into a lying incitement.
Let's see here. Where is it? Okay, and then I'm looking for the. Where did I put it? Okay. D8, 3 D6s, and a D4. I'll drop this in the chat. Here we go. So you get to distribute those dice. One per skill.
Right, and so
at the time you're rolling your first to 5, don't take advantage of it. Oh wait, it's impossible.
I was like, I don't know how. So D4 is considered the human norm, basically. Yes. Okay.
D8 is quite good. D12 is the max. D12 is scary in this system, actually.
All right. Well, I will. And because of your system and how it is, you see if you failed or you succeeded. The first 3 were So what I'm actually going to do is the first 3 were all failures. So I'm going to have those as 2 of the D6s and the D4.
Sure. Okay.
And then the last 2 were successes, so that'll be a D6 and a D8. So
okay,
that makes sense for the basically the way the backstory holds that out. That works.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. So you get to pick 1 skill.
Okay. Can I be inciting?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
D8.
So that's probably a D8. Okay. So 2 D8s so far. The last one is the item. This one's a little more flexible because sometimes people actually have an item in mind and sometimes they don't. In this case, I would say it would be Commander Craig. Like, it's just you're holding him up. Like,
okay.
Literally holding him up.
For item, I write down panicky, cursed guy.
Yeah. Sure. He's in your inventory now. You've collected him. If you get a Pokeball and call him Pikachu, you'll make millions of dollars.
All right.
Not sure how that will go, but so that's a D4. So you take those 3. Your difficulty is 7. You have to roll 7 or higher.
Okay.
So you roll the 3, and then we'll take it from there.
All right, so that's 2d8 plus a d4.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, 12.
Okay. We're not adding them all together. We just need
Oh.
the individual results for the moment.
Okay. So that's
so-
a 6, a 2, and a 4.
Okay. It doesn't matter if you have the top two or the bottom two because no, actually it does because the bottom two are okay. By default, the game assumes we're taking the lowest two results. You have to prove to me why you should get the top two. You have to argue this.
Ah. So yeah, okay, so this makes sense. I'm trying to you're right. Because the D8s are my skills and my stats. The D4 was actually my panicky cursed guy. So that's the middle one. No matter what, the absolute hinge of this plan is panicky cursed guy. So
Yes.
that one's not going to go away either way.
Right.
But what? So you were going to say you're leaning heavily on my my cunningness but in retrospect, that is a terrible amount of cunningness. However, these people remember. Wasn't there some voice? Wasn't this a voice that has incited a riot before? Yeah, we had a very successful riot before. This was fun. This is a town that has successfully heard this voice inciting riots before. That's how the industry faction got destroyed. So absolutely, it's almost like it's a path. It's one of those dopamine hits when you have fun. It's a drug thing, They felt really good. They rioted. They burned down their town and they saved everything. It's just hitting their instincts just right.
That's the best line of bullshit I've ever heard. It's awesome. That's amazing. I love it. Yes, take the top two. I can't tell. I can't say no to that. That's amazing. All right. So you get what you want. So they pick him up, and they're carrying him along. We'll punt it back to Maktar in a moment. But now we all hit the books. Because whenever you defy, you hit the books. So now we go back to our journals. You find a random passage in there, and we read it out loud.
I do.
Everybody does, one at a time.
Oh, okay.
Everybody finds, I've got a random passage, and I'm just waiting.
From the backstory.
Yeah, or really whatever it is you wrote, like you are now starting to generate a paper trail. So it could have been from your backstory. It could also have been from the bullet point we just wrote down. All of that factors in now.
Okay. Well, then I will go with one. I was once accused of apostasy against the Ram by my superior. I had some of my acolytes await him after a service and stab him to death, where I offered the blood to the Black Ram.
As all faithful believers do at one point or another. Ben, what you got for us?
So this is great. Again, I just rolled a D344, and I got, you had to ingratiate yourself.
Okay. All right.
I think I like that.
And then I got weary of battle. So, Maktar, you just cut yourself across the chest. You're feeling pretty good about you just did your little hardcore thing. All of a sudden, you see the guy that you were just saying was evil. He's being pushed up, and everybody begins to worship him as the Black Ram. They heard what Homeless Tom said, and they misunderstood it. He was meaning to say it's like some sort of Avatar prophet thing. They think it's an incarnation of the Black Ram itself. So that's what I'm writing down in my journal right now.
Okay.
I almost wrote Black Tom because, I did read those comics back in the day.
Muppet Treasure Island was great.
Yeah, I almost went black sheep just because of where I was. I was like, that'd be way too confusing.
All right. So whatever y'all's reactions or thoughts on that, there's your bullet point.
Okay. Well, Mokhtar is he's not going to take that.
Really? Really?
Oh yeah.
Well, there's your bullet point. That's for sure.
So he is. I don't know that defy is the right word, but he's not going to take that sitting down, and he is going to say, "This is a pale imitation of the ram. Clearly, you mock his greatness." And he'll point to Tom, and he'll say, "He must be the one who put the curse on Commander Craig."
Okay. Now this is this is PvP. Before it wasn't really PvP because Ben was just sort of redirecting it. Now we're actually head to head. Ben, have Homeless Tom defend himself. Because now he's pointing you out. He's calling your character out. It's open warfare.
Right. So my defense, as always, is going to be redirect. And that means I will look up to the panicking person on my shoulders and say, "Oh, great one, will you really let them do this to you? Will you really let this false prophet so terribly impugn your name, sir? Will you really, truly let this abomination, and insult all of your followers, all of us, this stranger?" I don't know what he's saying beyond meh, but I'm hoping to get a little help from my shoulders.
All right, so now this is PvP time. So here's how PvP works. Y'all have just done your defenses. Your Mokhtar is the aggressor. You have to beat Homeless Tom's roll. You don't equal it. You have to beat it. Get. So you have to beat. Homeless Tom, all you have to do is equal. So at this point, we assemble dice pools like before, then the both of you roll off. Thanks to your level 1 condition, he gets a +1 to his roll.
Okay.
Because you've got blood coming out, you're kind of getting a little, it's not terribly bad, but it's getting in the way, and he's not bleeding, and you are. Kind of one of those things. You're not in tip-top shape, and he is. So, starting with the aggressor, in this case, Mokhtar, that sounded like you were using willful to me. That's what that sounded like to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay,
totally
cool.
Willful.
Okay, so willful, grab that die.
Yep.
What skill are you doing?
Well, he just did the ritual. So would that carry over?
If you want it to. You just proved that you have proved your bona fides. You could use that.
Yeah, of course, because clearly I can't be the false one if I'm doing the ritual to the ram, making myself bleed. So I will take ritual with the willful.
Okay. Now you need an item. Probably I would suggest your wonderful knife that you use to, cut yourself because it's got the blood on it. But
maybe. Well, I was thinking perhaps his headdress and loincloth, since they are status symbols of his office as a priest of the ram.
Yes, that's a D4.
Okay.
There is a system in the game for upgrading gear. So if you're listening to the D4 and if it hurts your feelings, if we kept going, you could go and start making specific pieces of gear better because you keep leaning on them. So that's that's something to like as you're playing to kind of keep in the back of your head. It's like, well, yeah, give it time and money and yeah. Anyway, okay, so what's your dice pool?
So willful is a D8, ritual is a D8, and then the items are D4.
Okay, so 2 D8s and a D4. Homeless Tom. This is cunning. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but like it's definitely cunning because you're just. I mean, you're literally looking up at a bleeding man goat thing, and whatever happens, right? So that's a D8. So name me a skill, and I'm assuming you're going to use the goat for
Yeah, I mean, well, once you have Panicky Cursed Guy in your inventory, every problem becomes a solve with Panicky Cursed Guy. We know this. I will be honest with myself and say, although there are some elements of insight, lie is probably more accurate in this case for skills.
Yeah,
that's a D6 skill.
Yep. All right, so D8, D6, D4. Both of you roll. We don't tell what the results are yet.
Okay.
But then we start going through here's why I should get the top two. And one does not preclude the other. So you can both get top. Or one of you gets bottom and the other one gets to, and it just, we'll see. So let me know when you all have rolled, and then we'll start our arguments with the aggressor.
All right. I should get my top two because he is clearly an outsider. He is clearly a prophet sent from a foreign land. I mean, nobody else is just chilling in a loincloth and a big old headdress made of feathers, from exotic looking birds. And as much as the other guy claims to be promoting this goat, which is clearly not a ram, I didn't see him willing to spill his own blood for anything.
You've okay, yep. You literally have the whole thing. It is recognized that unless someone wants to challenge that, which please don't, because that's not very nice. I would assume that everybody at this point has some idea of your legitimacy. So yeah, you get the top two.
Okay.
Almost Tom.
Okay, I think I should get my top two because he is the guy I'm opposing is clearly an outsider. He's clearly a prophet of something strange. He just cut himself, so he's clearly insane. This is definitely exactly the kind of guy that if you're looking for a mob to tar and feather, this is the best possible target. There is every town deep in their soul really wants to throw out a false prophet, and I'm giving them that chance. And he already cut himself. He's already clearly bleeding. There's that bloodlust. Everybody who has that aggression, they want that. Plus, when it comes down to it, human beings, they instinctively like to follow the tallest thing. Khan himself is using that quirk of human psychology by having the nice tall headdress. That is why he's doing it. That's why he has that as his regalia. I have a panicky goat guy on top of my head. We're the tallest looking possible combination. So everybody instinctively just wants to follow that.
You get the top two. I can't tell that no either. Okay, what are the results? Remember, you get +1, Ben.
I'm at a 13.
Holy shit.
You win. I only had 11.
Okay. Ow. So, the loser, whenever you lose at a defy, you get conditions because you get bashed up. This is not. he's not a tame lion, sort of a deal. Like, you just spat in the face of fate. Both of you just came head to head. One person wins, walks away clean. The other person walks away bloodied. We're going to give you level 2 head trauma. So someone, the whole crowd gets starting, bam, right upside the head. You've got a level 2 head trauma. Your stress is now 3.
Ooh.
Now, they are starting to do that. That's going to be something that we're going to have to deal with in a minute. But for the moment, let's hit the books and let's see what spitting in the face of fate does for everybody else. Huh. Let me know when you guys have your selections. I've got mine.
Okay.
I've got unbreachable divine barriers between them. I did not look for that one on purpose. Yang's like, oh, thank God.
Okay.
What about you guys?
Well, I have. I often sleep with women who want to earn favors of the Black Ram.
Okay. I see a pattern developing. Ben?
I have take over government directly.
What?
That's what it was on the roll.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for that. Thank you so much for that. Okay. Mokhtar, what's your body count?
I mean,
This directly impacts your survival.
Well, that's what I'm getting at here. His body count is, I mean, he's doing, he would have to count binary on his digits to hit that number.
Every woman in the city, at least once, at least. Okay. Well, you do have yourself a good following, and your seduction was at D6, right?
Yes, D6.
Okay, so that's above average. So it's not just that you're okay at, like, assuming somebody even has the seduction skill, right? So if you don't have the skill, I give you a D2, which is worthless. Just worthless. You have a D6. So there you have satisfied customers.
It's, yeah, I mean, anybody who can see his loincloth can clearly see the Black Ram has blessed him.
And Ben suddenly signs off the stream. And so does everyone else. At this point, the women are already there. It was market day, and they see their favorite guy they like to cheat with, who gives them the access to the gods, is in trouble. So they put up, no, not Mokhtar, and they're kind of doing that, and in the middle of all of this, one of them shouts the phrase, if it's anyone's fault, it's, I don't remember the name of the is there a word for, like, bureaucracy or whatever I can throw in that sounds better, Yang? Oh, great creator of the setting, help me out.
Government? I don't know. The bureaucracy's fine.
Okay, they shout, if anyone's at fault, it's the bureaucracy for letting that thing exist in the first place. And somebody shouts, well, it has been shit around here lately, and boom. Boom, they took off. They're heading downtown for City Hall. It's fine. This is built up into somewhat of a revolutionary movement, because, as we had discussed before the game started, only the religious cults and only the government currently survive. So we're short on food, we're short on industry, everybody is miserable. All it takes is one woman trying to protect the man that she loyally cheats with to shout, it's the government's fault, and everybody goes, you know what? You're right. So that's what I'm putting down, something like that for my bullet point. The satisfied customers of Mokhtar intervene, and one of them shouts, if anyone is to blame, it's the government. Everyone agrees. They're starving. They head for town hall. Write down your impressions of that as a short little sentence, and when you guys are done, let me know, and we will navigate this next part of this story together, and we will find out just how much ash gets kicked around before it's all done.
All right.
So, you're done writing?
Yep.
Okay, but all right. I should probably explain recovery rules to you. You're in need. So the head trauma is going to be a little difficult to. That's going to be a little difficult to figure out right now for reasons that should be obvious. However, a bunch of the women start sewing you up. You know,
as they should.
Right there on the street. Right there on the street, they just start fussing over you. Oh my goodness, you were hurt. You know, all of that. When I was in college, for my birthday, we did paintball, and one of my friends went in an Under Armour shirt.
Ooh.
And he would charge people, point blank. We made fun of him mercilessly, right? This was stupid. But the next day, he's at the cafeteria, and all of the girls are literally draped over, like they're actually draped over him. Like I'm not like. And they're going, oh, are you okay? And it was not that far off from the voice tone I just did. It was so stereotypical, I started laughing. It's one of those things, like, most women that I've told that story to, they go, that wouldn't happen. I'm like, I watched it. That's exactly what happened. You know what he's saying? You're like, I went and did paintball. I'm like, oh my gosh, you look so beat up. Oh, it hurt, but... Not even kidding. This is, and I'm just sitting there falling out of my chair. I'm laughing so hard. I kind of get that vibe right now. Like, oh my goodness, are you okay? And you're thinking back, this was an accident. I didn't mean to do this, but they're just. So, get rid of the cut chest.
Okay.
Just be careful, because now we fictionally know that someone can rip the stitches open. So your stress is down to 2.
Okay.
Now, who wants to go first? Because City Hall or Town Hall is now being marched on by an angry mob of people. And they've ignored the goat-headed dude. Still goat-headed dude in the street. Still a dude who's had his chest cut up. People marching for City Hall. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. Because you say they're ignoring it, but I know there is the only, like, the safest place to be in the middle of a riot is to be in the middle of the riot, traveling with everybody. So okay. I will start marching along with everybody else. I'll try to start some chants, Bahram you, Bahram you. To your sheep, your breed, your clan be true. If I can get everybody going, Bahram you on it. But while that goes a little louder, I will try to tap and pat the shoulders, the knee on my shoulders.
Yeah.
And be like, sir, are you okay? Sir, I'm trying to panic. It's okay. I know it's scary right now, but I can see you really getting some promotions out of this. It's okay. Just calm down. I think it's all going to be okay. Exactly. You got it, sir. We've got this. Bahram you. Yeah, Bahram you. So that's where I'll go. It's safe. It's safer this way.
Okay. All right. I checked the myth. I checked the beliefs. This all checks out. because you're part of the confluence. All right, Mokhtar, they're all leaving you alone now, and you're now surrounded by all your loyal customers.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm going to let them go
Okay.
because I am going to get the ladies, and we are going to start grabbing people like in the back of the mob.
Mhm.
And I want them to restrain them so I can go and slit their throats to offer blood to the ram to effectively gain more devotion and get some divine favors.
Okay.
But now, not in. I don't want to be too obvious about it.
Sure. Of
Pick
course.
someone, grab them into an alley. Do
Yeah.
the deed.
It's a quick ritual. Throat slitting.
Yes,
It's fine.
and they're being lured by women who may or may not be their wives.
Right. Man, what a deal. A seemingly unmarried woman, knife to throat. What an evening.
Yeah, I'm gonna promise them that they'll get some favors too.
What do you want the favors for?
Oh,
What's your
that is a
goal?
good question. So I eventually I want to try to turn Commander Craig back to normal because I have a long-term goal of having the government indebted to me to help me on my quest to find what I'm looking for.
So one of the things that I forgot to mention, this is on me, this isn't on you. I did this.
Okay.
I forgot to mention that any use of magic is automatically a defy.
Oh, okay. Well,
this is my fault. Like, I'm willing to go, let's just do that because I forgot to say it. That's not fair. We're here to play fair. So you start getting your, we can have it be your future defies pick the top two. So you're getting your blood, you're getting your people all for the climactic finish, or maybe not. Maybe you just cast the spell. But when you're doing this, because you've got your unifying force who are going and dealing with what you perceive to be a greater threat, picking them off and doing all this stuff. Eventually, Homeless Tom, your cunning is too high not to notice this. You're at a D8. You are the smartest dude in the room. By like a lot. Like, you are that guy who, I don't know if you could quite sell ice to an Eskimo, but you're in the neighborhood of being able to do that. You're in the neighborhood of being able to pick up on those kind of cues and be able to do that. So I would think that if you're like in the middle of this crowd, the rumor of something going on, like, you're being quiet, Mokhtar. I'm not saying that anyone's catching you, but when people start vanishing, there's always something of a quiet chill which happens at that. Like, someone is always kind of starting to pick up on something. And Homeless Tom picks up on it. He picks up that something ain't right. Something ain't right here. What do you want to do?
So what I'm probably most concerned with is critical mass. I'm seeing some weirdnesses happen, but this is a townwide riot at this point. Is it starting to affect the speed and momentum basically that's going on here?
It is going to. If this keeps up, it will. So you've like, the mass is building, but it's sort of like watching someone run when you know one of their ligaments is bad. All it takes is one, or like, this thing could take off and it could crash and burn.
Mm-hmm.
And what Mokhtar is doing, not that it's Mokhtar, but there's starting to become a little bit of a chill going on. People are starting to wonder what's, it's not too many of them, but you're smart enough to pick up on it.
Right. So can I look behind, like, can I try to discern what's happening behind me? Can I just try to, like, I'm trying to look, trying to get a vibe on that one.
So the way that Crescendo does this, we don't have perception skills. I've never understood perception skills personally, mostly because then that's basically a stat. It's a stat without being a stat. So you name me a skill that you're using to try and figure this out, and we will go from there. I will give you information based off the skill that you're telling me you're examining things with.
Okay. Well, I mean, so basically I'm going to be looking around. If we're looking at my skills, you said it. You said you wanted to have something better, but I'm actually, if there's something that's cutting off pieces of the crowd, if there's something that's causing issues, if there's something that's, secretly bushwhacking individuals, then I would actually be expecting to hear, like, in amongst the chants and the yells, I'm actually listening for any potential groveling. Any potential like kind of defensive sounds like that. That makes sense.
I got one better for you. Mm-hmm. I got one better for you. You don't hear groveling per se. You do hear that peculiar enticing that happens right as a guy is being distracted. Up on it. It's not quite groveling, but it fits just close enough. It's close enough for horseshoes, hand grenades, and government work.
Right.
So someone's luring people away, and you realize you see one of the women, and you hold up. That's one of the women who got in the way with that priest guy. So, as a kind of explaining, at a D8, you're no longer above average. It's a step up from that. So, like, I would expect at a D8 that, like, homeless Tom would remember almost every face he's seen in the last like 5-10 minutes. Like, I mean, one of those, like, oh yeah, I remember you. You were way in the back over there. Like, that's what a D8 buys you, sort of. If you'll notice, it's kind of a fuzzy gut thing, where it's like, a D8 is markedly better than a D6, which is markedly better than a D4. So at a D8, no, you recognize him, not a question. You know exactly. Why is she?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do?
I will immediately. So, again, my goal is not necessarily to topple the government in a wash of blood and fire. That wasn't how I started out today. I didn't do that I didn't roll out of bed and think, hey, this would be a great day to topple government. I'm just trying to survive. But I know that unfocused mobs are dangerous, especially when your friend has a goat head. And I realize that there's something wrong. So I can see, like, you say, okay, so you say I'm smart, I know names, I'm good at tracking names and keeping an eye on things, much better than the average person. You can call me a dungeon master, like that good. So,
yeah, I'm terrible at that, by the way. I sit at a D3 when it comes to tracking names. I'm so grateful that you guys put them in the chat, because I'm checking them. Don't think I'm not checking them.
But what I'll do is, when I see, I'll see somebody yank once, one of the people go away, I'll say, is that Dave? They just took Dave. Cultists are stealing Dave. Like, I'll just try to turn around. I'll try to scream in panic. What are they doing with Dave? Like, and I'll just see him being dragged off, or, enticed off. And I can see, like, more people are kind of like, this cult is starting to prey on the edges. So I will point to where the preying on the edges is with looks of panic and terror.
Okay.
That doesn't have to be feigned.
No,
yeah.
it doesn't.
I am riding this horse.
Maktar, the yes butt's coming your way. You hear this. It's now or never.
Yeah. He
It's now or
will
never.
raise his hands to the sky and look up and say, "Oh, great Ram, you who have wisdom from beyond the stars, return this impostor back to his human form. Do not allow the evil sorcerers to prevail."
I think that's will. I mean, that sounds like will to me.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, ritual.
Yep.
I mean, yep. And then whatever you want as far as the item is concerned, you get your D4 out of it. You have to beat a 9 because your stress is a 2.
Okay.
So 7 plus 2, 9.
Okay. Certainly nothing can go wrong here.
Nothing has ever gone wrong in a Crescendo game.
Well, I have a 7 and a 5 on my D8s.
Well, I did tell you could have the top 2 because you've laid your groundwork. Hey, homeless Tom. He stopped going meh, and now he's asking, "What the hell am I doing on your shoulders?" And you look up. He don't have a goat's head no more.
Commander Craig, I am so happy right now. We've had a darn doodly of a day. I will quickly explain I will
Let's hit the books first.
Okay.
Hit the books first. We're gonna see where this goes first. But yes, mortals are trapped. God help us all. Ben, what is going on? Your eyebrows are doing the Irish jig over there.
It is. I have no idea how to use this chaos, but I need Craig's help.
Okay.
I once had to kill a drow who disrespected the black ram with my bare hands.
Huh. Okay. All right. That one's tougher. So, call that out. He transforms back. We've got strangled bare hands. Okay. I have one question about the setting. Because I don't remember right now. Because I don't remember, I'm asking. Are there any direct actions from deities of any kind at all ever? Is, like, if I remember correctly, they're distant, but they're not. They're not gone. They're just distant.
Yeah. They're usually smaller tier things. They're like healing people. I mean, occasionally you might raise from the dead, but the gods don't have like the powers to raise mountains and
okay. All right.
sink islands or anything like that.
Okay, I know what I'm doing then. All right. God help everyone else. The sky goes black a minute. You blink, it's gone. But the scream from everybody said that you guys didn't imagine this. But it's just quick enough. Standing before homeless Tom, who has Commander Craig on his head, is a humanoid with a ram's head. So the proper, standing there in his fine black robes and his headdress that looks suspiciously like yours, Maktar. And it says in a loud voice, The gods are displeased with the administration of this city. And then it's gone. But everybody saw it. I'm writing my bullet point. I almost wrote goat again. Why do I keep doing that? All right. So that's what I wrote down. Let me know when you guys are done writing.
Okay.
Cool. Ben?
We're good.
Cool. So, I think we have successfully punted this back into Homeless Tom's territory.
So beyond confused, I am gonna. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask if we have a second. I'm gonna ask Craig what he remembers what last thing happened for him.
Not a question I expected to be asked. Let's think. Okay. He says that he tells you, and you know this is a lie. The instant he opens his mouth, you know he's lying to you. Like, he's got his tells. I don't know what they are. You can tell us what his tells are. But, like, the instant he opens his mouth, you're like, oh, you... He says that he was helping officiate, well, not officiate, he was helping to delegate a husband and a wife in the middle of a nasty dispute. You can tell that he is lying through his teeth.
Really not helpful there, sir. Trying to save your life, my life, and maybe not burn down the town. And this isn't helping, buddy. I will, first of all, courteously let him down.
Of course.
Yeah, you know, and I wrote no more panicky cursed guy. Now I just have confused guy in my inventory. I will say, so there is still human sacrifices. Like, is Khan standing on a pile of dead bodies or in front of a trail of dead bodies?
I would expect that he's rather bloody, but no, they would have, like, you know, grabbed people into an alleyway or, you know, behind a garbage can or something.
Yes, because you just got a big bonus there. You just got somebody clap you on the back, and so Commander Craig is affiliated with the government, but he's not City Hall, right?
He's not City Hall directly. Let me look it up and remember.
Yeah, he was like, it was led by the faction he led by. So I was just having him as but he's like the moral leader. Maybe not. Moral.
Yeah, and he's lying to you.
Mm-hmm.
Not a good sign.
I will. All right. I'll pat him on the shoulder. I will say, best of luck, sir. And I will scream in my best chant, follow the commander. Go where he says to go. Let's have him slay who he slays. And I will just try to fade into the crowd, like with a confused, no longer goat-headed man. He has the blessing and the mandate. And I will like try to fade into it while pointing with him at the same time, just like, yep.
I'm done with you, and good. Best of luck. Best of luck.
You have it great, sir. I'm like you, as in like I'm like I have utter faith in you. We'll follow wherever you lead, sir. Fading into the crowd slightly.
Like Homer into the bushes.
Mokhtar.
Well, he he's not very concerned with homeless Tom. Commander Craig's still naked, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he will he is going to use he is going to use this opportunity to, he's not necessarily going to dissuade the crowd from what homeless Tom said. But he is going to try to twist it to his advantage. And he is going to say, we have heard the words of the Ram. He has blessed us, and he has made Commander Craig the avatar of his destruction. Yes, follow Commander Craig as he helps to rid the town of infidels. All hail the Ram. And then I assume all the women all also say, all hail the Ram.
Of course they do. They've experienced the Ram many times, apparently. Mm-hmm. Thanks so much for that. And the chant starts up, and Commander Craig is standing there buck naked with nothing to his name at all, looking around, flying loose in the wind, so to speak. He looks around and he says, actually, I have no idea what he's going to say. Holy crap. What is he going to say? He says, if the gods have chosen me, you can see, he's trying to, get his feet under him, right? He's like, oh my God, I was, whatever he did, the gods didn't like it. And now he's kind of he's gone sheet white. Mokhtar sees it immediately. Homeless Tom knows he's scared out of his mind. He's starting to blank. He's kind of he's like, the gods have chosen me. If they said that they'd be down with City Hall, because he's kind of out in the middle and he's kind of got problems. He goes down with City Hall with all their misdeeds and all of their kidnappings in the night, and he starts to do a rap sheet. He's got receipts on these people, and he starts dropping them right then and there. Tom, you're starting to wonder if some of these are things he did. Can't quite tell, because he's getting into it. He's getting worked up, He's getting all fired up. But you're wondering how much of this is just him. And you don't... Considering that up until this point you generally trusted him, I'm not going to give you the advantage with the D8 because it's such a weird situation. Sorry. But they then begin to march upon City Hall, following their naked avatar of the gods. Somebody hands him a machete of some kind, and he kind of gingerly takes it, and then they're all following him as they all shout, all hail the Ram. This seems to be a good place to wrap it up. Because I have no idea. In an ongoing game, I would cut it here, and then we would just figure out what happened off screen and jump to the next point where beliefs are being challenged. So, at the end of every session of Crescendo, we go through everybody's beliefs, and we judge how they acted on them, and we give out what are called fate points. Most beginning sessions of Crescendo do not have a lot of fate. So, fate points let you do funny things like reduce the margin on defies. They let you refuse conditions. You can just go, no. But there's a catch. Every time you spend fate, unless you spend a large amount of it, you have to hit the books. So you basically take the chaos and you push it elsewhere. Oh, cool. There's rolls here. Anyway, I just saw that in the Twitter chat. All right, so who wants to go first? We can start. I can show you show you guys how this works, and then we can have some ending thoughts, and then we'll kill the stream.
Okay. Well, I can go first.
Go for it.
So the beliefs.
Yes.
So you want the incident and the lesson, or just the lesson?
Yep. Both of them.
Okay. So belief number one is I once had to kill a drow who disrespected the ram with my bare hands. The lesson is I will be protected for following the will of the ram.
Now, here's how this works. I ask the question, did you cause harm to a faction, or did you defy, like just the dice roll, or did you harm another player character with this belief?
Ooh. That's, well, I mean, I would say if anything harmed a faction, because, well, first of all, he killed a bunch of innocents, so now they have less population. But then also, he is trying to subvert Commander Craig's faction, basically, to his will.
So yes. So what you would do inside of an ongoing game of Crescendo, you would write a bullet point about what you did and what the consequences of that action probably are going to be. If you're wanting to know what the consequences might be, you can ask everyone at the table. We'll be more than happy to tell you what the consequences of your actions are probably going to be. So you basically start laying the track. I did this. This is probably what the ripples are. You also take a fate point. So normally, you'd log your fate point. You now have one fate. Let's go to Ben's first belief, because we go back and forth. We jump back and forth as people kind of start to construct this after-action report of sorts.
Right. So my first belief is no one will help you unless tricked into believing it's helping themselves. I would say I acted in accordance with that pretty well.
Oh yeah. It's hurting a faction, defying or harming a player character, and the answer is yes. Actually, I think it's
all of it.
I think it's all of it. So you would take a fate, then you'd write down, this is what I did, and these were the consequences thereof. All right. Yeah. Second belief for Yang.
My second belief is I often sleep with women who will want to earn the favors of the Black Ram. And the lesson is the Black Ram rewards me for my faith and promoting his will.
Yeah, you definitely defied with this belief. You absolutely did. So that would be a fate point, and then another bullet point for you to write down. Let's go over to Ben.
Yeah, so mine is, it's a lonely world out there. Only gangs of criminals stick together. So my actions, this didn't touch it as much, except for my whole treating the watch as a gang. But
right. There's actually a reward for breaking a belief. Mm-hmm. So you can answer no, and then we go to the next question.
Yeah, I don't think this certainly didn't break that belief, but it just didn't intersect with this a lot.
Sure. Well, I mean, yeah. So in this case, breaking would be going for a higher good. Mm-hmm. Like, did you betray the belief for something that you thought was better? And if you did, what is it?
Yeah, I didn't do that either.
Okay, that's fine. We're gonna go to the third one for Yang here.
Once the husband of one of the women I sleep with and his friends waited for me and attacked me in the streets. And the lesson is there are those who are jealous of me and would steal what is rightfully mine. I must be careful.
I mean,
I don't know that he really achieved this one.
No, not this one, but that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. It doesn't have to be them all. It's not like it's not meant to be a dopamine hit because you're writing the bullet points down with them, which I find slows the dopamine just enough. Third one for Ben.
Yeah, this one's pretty good. Its governance is good as long as it's in service to me. So
yeah.
I have no loyalty whatsoever to the governments. I have no it's there to serve me. I think that I would say I definitely did some harm on that one.
Oh yeah, so that would be a fate point.
Yep.
So next thing we then do, if someone had said no on any of these beliefs, we then go, hey, did you betray the belief for a higher good? If so, what's the higher good?
That would probably be me. I would say he was not careful. But the higher good is that it serves the will of the ram. And that's, hopefully in the future now, Craig will do as I ask.
There you go. You would take 2 fate for that.
Ooh.
Because you betrayed a belief for a higher good. And you defined what it was. Because there's a mechanic for changing the belief and getting fate for doing it. So now you've kind of defined sort of what another belief might look like if you want to do it. So we'll jump to that because that just seems to be a natural segue. Are there any beliefs that you would change? If yes, you would gain a number of fate for the number of sessions you've held the belief. So we've had people, I actually just had this 2 weeks ago. One of my players, Tasha, sat on a belief and milked it for all it was worth for about 12 sessions. She would and I know she did this on purpose. I asked. She would go in and she'd play into it just enough, and then the next session she'd break it, and then she kind of do this this thing with it. And after 12 sessions, she went, I'm changing it. And she collected 12 fate. And all of a sudden, she was a powerhouse. So if you guys want to change something inside of a longer running game, it'd be session 1, probably not. But you start getting around session 4 or 5, and people are looking at you like, that's a lot of fate. Actually, I could use that. Now we come to the PvP. And this is the one that Ben should be like, all right, the lowest level condition you caused someone else is how many fate points you get. So you hit him with 2. So you get another 2 fate.
Wait, wouldn't it be 3? Oh, that I caused directly.
Right, that you caused directly. So, I at one point had a game where somebody jumped on the back of a dragon and convinced someone else to jump with him. Jumping onto the back of the dragon burned their hands for level 1, and then they both fell off for 4. To me, that qualifies because they wouldn't have jumped on if you no, but the fall was a 4, but because of the grabbing of the hands on the 1, he got a fate point for it. And he went, wait, I should have figured out how to get them on without getting the level 1. I said because PvP is fun if it's dramatic. If it's small and petty, people don't generally like it. So it's okay, if you're going to do it, you really have to do it. Last one is the role-playing one. This is how much you're leaning into your traits. You've got your traits, and but this is kind of also the equalizer, because sometimes people will run into sessions where their beliefs just don't come up. Either the Weaver's having a bad day, or it's just not relevant, or it goes, completely sideways. You guys have no idea what that's like, obviously, as we go to tear down City Hall. But there's a role play reward from 1 to 3, or really 0 to 3. 0 is, so the idea is that, like, if it's an ongoing game, it's okay. How did you guys further your craft in portraying this guy? Did you impress me all over again, or did you just sort of kind of hold the line here? So here I would say it's 2s because the both of you did a fantastic job. You guys are still getting into the skin, but like there was definitely like I had a really, really good idea of who each person was. So each of you would get 2 fate points. The way this comes to bite everyone back in the rear end later is that when the Weaver is starting to figure out who he's going to pick on, it's the person with the highest fate points. And there's a rule in the book telling you how big of a threat to throw at them based upon how many fate points they have. So Tasha got like 12, she got like 18 fate points in one game. And I went, cool, the gods are mad. The gods are coming for you now. And she's like, yeah, I know. At 12 plus, or I can't remember the specific number, but at like 12 plus, someone way up high has noticed you and they don't like you. And so the next session that they show up, we're just going straight into the times of myth. I hope you guys have plenty of fate, because when gods show up, they hurt people by just standing there. So that's a session of Crescendo. The thoughts, reactions.
Well, I mean, it was very cool. I think in some ways, until you play it, it's very hard to conceptualize what Crescendo is, because it's so different from pretty much any other tabletop role-playing game that you play. So it's, now that I played it, it's like, oh, okay, now I get what you're going for. Now I get how it works.
Oh, sure. There's a reason why I have a YouTube channel now. All actual plays. This is like, I'm just collecting like as many examples as I can and putting them up there because it's weird. It's a weird game. I absolutely agree with you. I love it, but it's a weird game.
Yeah, I see how it flows, but yeah, it's so I'm curious, is this something that was straight off the dome, or did this evolve from something else? Where did it come from?
I am a hardcore Burning Wheel player. I was playing Burning Wheel 3 times a week for 3.5 years. So Burning Wheel isn't kind of my jam. It started as kind of, I don't know what you guys know about Burning Wheel, but the system is very, very, very intricate. And if you pull on one thread, the rest of the system starts to do this weird unspooling thing. And before you know it, the whole tapestry falls apart. I love the game for that quality, but I found one thing and I started yanking and yanking and yanking. And now we've got this. The game was inspired directly by Gene Wolfe's Book of the Short Sun. Like the whole, so I don't know what you guys know about that. It's a very obscure book, but Short Sun is my favorite book. Like point blank, period. And when I got done playing it, I was like, I want this. I don't want to stop this. And so over about 2 to 3 years of play testing, I just sort of molded bits and filed them off and, all in very, very in process. It's a very, very ugly game as far as development goes.
Well, that actually does help me. You might want to lead with that a little bit because now that I think about it, I can see the Burning Wheel DNA, and that helps. That helps the initial conceptualization for like somebody who's very alien to it. And I'm not a huge running wheel. Like, I have not played it, but I'm very familiar with it and the concepts
Sure.
of it. So that helps. That kind of helps with the initial figure out. I mean, it ran very well.
Thank
Once it was all
Yeah, yeah.
understandable, it all ran very, very well.
Thank
But
you.
yeah, but
Appreciate
I think, yeah, just understanding the DNA might actually help, kind of, because the initial is initially confusing, and then after you get going, then you can see the flow and the back and forth. And I appreciated the explanations as they went.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I can see this being a little difficult if nobody that you're playing, nobody at your table has ever played this before. It
Sure.
can be a little, I think it could be a little confusing. But if you have one person who knows what they're doing, it's really not that difficult to follow.
Right.
You still have turns, and you still have abilities and points. It's in a very different way than I would say the average TTRPG is. But if you've played one, I don't think this is that hard to understand.
Yeah.
And one of the other things I do like about it is sometimes you'll be at tables where people just don't want to role play. So even if you were taking this for like, I could even see this being added to like a normal Dungeons and Dragons
Hmm.
group thing,
Mhm.
whereas like you're taking part of the story, instead of normal combat, like this one adventure or like a downtime activity or something like that, and you're using crescendo rules for sort of like a mini adventure that then you go back to like
Yeah. Yeah.
normal rules.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, I mean, I definitely don't want to pit. I don't want to pitch this as a you have to give up what you're already doing.
Yeah.
People are doing what they're doing for a reason. It bought, like, this isn't, this criticism is not leveled at anyone in particular, but it was part of the reason why I never designed something before this. It was like, I don't, I'm happy with what I'm doing. Why do I make something else? Like, why would I? But it didn't click in my head until I had something where it's like, oh, I can play this alongside. So for me, I'm running Shadow Dark and Nimble in the same world, and then I've got these people running around in Crescendo doing, like, we literally had the universe incarnate in the last session, reach down, grab something, and go, no, and then removed it from reality. And everyone in the other game saw it. Everyone in the other game saw this gigantic woman thing all of a sudden appear, reach down, grab something, and then vanish. And everyone's like, what is that? So yeah, no, I appreciate the feedback, because I definitely don't want, I actually designed this game in part by looking at what's the name of that? It's the OSR primer. I can't remember what it's called. I saw it on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember it. Ben Milton's name's on it. I can't remember the rest of it. It's gonna drive me crazy.
You mean Finch's primer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I literally designed the game by just looking at that and cobbling everything around it. So, like, I don't want to approach old school people and say what you're doing is wrong. It's like, hey, look, I like your principles, and I just took this thing and kind of Frankensteined it, and you can sort of take your same logic and port it over.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. In Empire of the Undying Sun, in the campaign guide, there's parts where there's a time gap between sort of like main events, since it's based on a calendar thing. So depending on how I'm running it, I might just say like, okay, what'd your character do for the last 2 months? But instead of that, I could see running a session of Crescendo, because there's a lot of factions in the world and a lot of moving parts, and this sort of mucks things up in a good way. So I could see that, and then switching back. Or even if you're just doing like regular OSR, a lot of people use the module books. Well, you're always back at the keep on the borderland, chilling for a while, why not run some Crescendo so the world at large like changes before you go back to some mines somewhere?
I've also grabbed, if you guys want to, obviously we're all YouTubers. So what do we not watch? We usually don't watch other YouTubers. But if you're interested, I actually with Crotonistus, we sat down and we did an Eberron run. And I literally opened up the book, went into the Demon Wastes and said, here's a town. We're just going to run in this town for 5 or 6 sessions. And like, we're just in this little town mucking around in the Demon Wastes. There's demons out there. Don't go, oh, you went out there. Of course you did. Of course. So yeah, you could absolutely switch back. I hadn't really thought about doing that actually, because I'm always so obsessed with the idea of having these multiple things going on at once. It's a very wolf thing for me. But yeah, you could totally do that. So like, anyway, do you guys have any? We're coming up into the last 4 minutes. So you guys got any? What else you got? Because I'm all ears.
In the sense of when you have new people creating their characters. So we had a little bit of back and forth. Ben and I with you, and like, oh, we should be doing this and not that. I do think a character sheet would really help.
We have them. It just
okay.
Yeah, I forgot. Honestly, I forgot.
No worries.
Dumb. I just forgot.
I just think because it's such an abstract concept in a lot of ways, like just having a visual aid for people to say like, oh, this is this, that's that. I just think that would make it a little easier. Yeah,
I was sitting there. I was thinking, it was almost like out of that meme. It's like I forgot something. It can't be too important. And then we were like launching, and as we were launching, I'm like, I knew it. I knew I did something wrong today. Oh well, such is life. Here we are. What about you, Ben? What you got?
No, that's good. The having a character sheet sample is always a good idea. That's usually a good way because people, especially something like this, people often play with the template. Although you're probably doing what's right. Both of us are somewhat older gentlemen, so we don't do it like the kids these days. But like having actual plays is a good way of teaching the system, and especially this. Honestly, a story game system probably works best with actual play kind of things. Interestingly enough, I think this would work well for if you were trying to market to people who wanted to do patron play.
I've thought of that. I don't know how to yet, so start sending me things on that because I'm thinking on it. I'm actually I'm writing my setting down. I'm writing my baby down, and that's one of the things I want to put it like. I'm making it to where all of the setting books for Crescendo are going to be essentially me kit bashing the game over and over and over and over. So 1-to-1 time is in my setting. It's not in the core book. It's in my it's in my setting book. There's a couple of other things that I do to massage in there. One of the things I was thinking about was factional play. So if you guys can think of ways that I would be able to just take what I'm already doing and make it that. Yes, I would love to hear it. That would be amazing. I know I made something profoundly weird and strange, good, but strange. And one of the problems that I found when people do that is that they don't understand the scope of what they've made. Frequently, someone else will come and they'll look at the object and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, you can do this whole thing!" And the creator's looking like, "What? Say what?" And it's like, "Oh no, it's perfect." And meanwhile, the creator is just totally puzzled because it was never his intention. So I've seen it happen before. So if you guys if this is something that if this is something I could pull you guys back for in the future, you don't have this is just me saying it. You don't. I'm not trying to but if I come with another idea or whatever and want to run it, is that something you guys might be interested in?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
It depends on time.
Yes.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's hard to come by. But yes, no, it plays fun.
Good.
Yeah. I am a little curious to see how it would play with more people, because I think just with two people, in some ways, it kind of ends up being more PvP.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas I can imagine, just even having one more person in here, I may, it's almost like it's with two people, like I'm almost always against him,
Yeah.
And he's always against me. Whereas a third person, like, oh, well, maybe I'll go with that, but not that. And,
Right.
get more strategery.
So, as kind of a wrapping up point, for that, I recommend that you don't play with more than 3 people.
Oh.
For the reason why, because again, hardcore burning wheel guy, you throw 5 people into burning wheel, no. The book says you can do it. No, you really shouldn't. It's a bit. As soon as you hit over 3 people with a beliefs-based game like this, the game starts to groan. There's now 9 with 3 people. There's 9 beliefs in play, and the weaver's having to kind of jump between them, and it's not too much. It just starts to kind of. But as soon as you hit 4, it starts to hurt, or at least it does for me. I know that Credonistus, who's going to be running a game at some point, has said he doesn't mind if it's 4, but for me, I put a hard limit on, or more or less a hard limit on 3. The other problem is hitting the books. Imagine, actually, you don't even have to. I just ran this. I actually had Ross from Mythic Mountain, kind of sort of sitting in on an ongoing game of mine. And all 4 people were there together. And then right out the gate, Credonistus went defy, which, like, within the first 5 minutes of play, he defied, which then cracked open to a new situation, which the next person had to defy because he threw everything out so bad that the only way left is to defy. And then all of a sudden there was a ping. There was this vicious circle going on. With 3 people, that vicious circle starts to peter out. Whew.
Yeah, I can see that.
It was bloody. It was hilarious, but it was bloody. So I don't recommend more than 3. I'm usually me personally, I'm almost always most comfortable with 1. I usually like one-on-one. I like one-on-one with belief play. It works really well because you can really, really, really drill down, and both people can really dig in, and they can really get at it, and they're not having to like figure out the table dynamic. Instead, that's it. Let's go. One last comment from Ben, because I think we're coming off of Yang, and then we're going to call it.
Yeah, it really works well. You should definitely just poke around and look for use cases. I think you'll see a lot of fun stuff. There's the last use case I can kind of think of would be something that would work. It'd probably also work for game setup, campaign kickoff stuff, where you're doing things. It would look for integration for stuff with like Microscope, where you're looking to build the setting, you're looking to build like certain key peoples, and then using that as a way of just throwing the boggle board and seeing what like comes out, because it's designed for chaotic results from what I can see.
Oh yeah.
So if you have patrons or gods or something along those lines that crescendoize kind of at the beginning, I think you might have an interesting start to a campaign. And from my experience, players love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Players love to be able to toss the boggle and see what comes out. So that's kind of my last thought.
Oh, I like that. I kind of like it, like sort of like a Ginger. I know you can hear me. A Godstein and a duck. But yeah, you could totally do that. Actually, I hadn't thought of that. You could make like the gods version of this. Okay, that's something to think about. Actually, I really like that idea. So with that, unfortunately, we are 4 minutes past when my poor long-suffering wife said she'd watch the kids. So, thank you to Maria down there. So thank you guys so much for taking the chance and coming on here. Thank you, Ben, for agreeing to come in and join Yang and I for this. Yang, thank you so much for working with me and for your patience with everything as I kind of bumbled around.
No, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So glad to hear
Appreciate
that.
it.
Yeah. You guys have a good evening. I'm going to go downstairs and see where the rubble is.
Yeah. Well, thank her for watching the kids for us.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.
I will. Thank you.
Bye-bye.